captured the battles and conveyed reality with unparalleled precision. The most notable World War II films. Hollywood has undoubtedly produced exceptional war films, whether centered on the First or Second World War. However, the most accurate documentation has been dedicated to World War II. More than 75 years after its outbreak, Hollywood continues to explore the catastrophic aspects of one of history's most devastating conflicts. But were these films truly accurate in depicting events or portraying the experiences of people during that era? And to what extent were the historical facts presented in these films faithful to reality? Below, we present a selection of the most accurate World War II films based on three key criteria. First, did the filmmakers accurately present the core storyline, the chronological sequence of events, and the characters involved? Second, did they effectively capture the spirit of the era, the conditions faced by soldiers and civilians alike, and their ways of responding to and interacting with those circumstances? Lastly, did they accurately portray the visual aspects of the time? This includes the actors' costumes, the insignia and emblems displayed, as well as the authenticity of weapons, equipment, and tactics used during the era. These criteria often pose a significant and costly challenge for filmmakers, which is entirely understandable. For those creating World War II films, the difficulty is even greater. Battles rarely unfold in a neat, linear fashion. Wars are chaotic, confusing, and unsettling, especially in their early stages. Another crucial aspect to highlight is the narration of war itself. History is written by the powerful and the victors, and perspectives on the same events can differ greatly between opposing sides. This also applies to World War II films, as one must always consider who wrote, produced, and presented the story to the audience. Ultimately, the film industry operates with one primary goal: profit. This means filmmakers must tell their stories concisely, while staying within budget constraints and time limitations. Here's a list of standout World War II films that can be regarded as some of the most accurate portrayals of the war. The films are arranged in chronological order based on their release dates. While the list focuses on films, it's impossible not to mention the iconic miniseries Band of Brothers.
With your permission.
Sobel?
Major Winters?
Captain Sobel. We salute the rank, not the man.
The same creative team behind Saving Private Ryan collaborated to adapt Stephen Ambrose's 1992 book, Band of Brothers, for the screen. The series chronicles the story of Easy Company, part of the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment of the 101st Airborne Division. The creative team included director Steven Spielberg, actor Tom Hanks, and others. This collaboration resulted in a 10-episode miniseries, which premiered in 2001. The series follows the journey of Easy Company soldiers from their time in training camp in the United States to the final surrender of Wehrmacht forces near Adolf Hitler's residence in the Bavarian Alps at Berchtesgaden. Few productions capture the experiences and emotions of the ordinary infantryman with the accuracy of this series, which can rightfully be considered a masterpiece. It vividly portrays the realities faced by Easy Company soldiers during the war. The inclusion of interviews with some of the real-life members of the company adds a profound human dimension to the viewing experience. Schindler's List. Schindler's List, released in 1993, this film is considered one of the greatest World War II movies of all time. It tells the true story of Oskar Schindler, a German industrialist who saved approximately 1,200 Jews during the Holocaust by sheltering them in his factories during the atrocities of the era. The interwoven stories, complex characters, and nuanced emotions allowed director Steven Spielberg to craft a deeply moving portrayal of those who lived through these events. It's no exaggeration to call it one of the finest anti-war films in cinematic history, offering a fresh perspective on the Holocaust. These qualities earned it the 6th spot on IMDb's list of the greatest films of all time, with a rating of 8.9. The film delves into the persecution faced by Jews in Europe during World War II under the Nazis and recounts the true story of Schindler, a member of the Nazi Party who saved over 1,000 Jews from the Holocaust. Spielberg used subtle and symbolic effects throughout the film to ensure viewers remained focused on the horrors of war and its direct impact on individuals. The film's central theme is encapsulated in one poignant idea. One person's actions can profoundly impact the lives of many. One of the most iconic and unforgettable moments in the film is the scene featuring the girl in the red coat, a striking image in an otherwise entirely black and white movie. This scene remains etched in the memory of audiences as a powerful representation of innocence amidst tragedy. Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan. This 1998 masterpiece immortalizes the Battle of Normandy, centering on a mission assigned by the U.S. President. Captain Miller and his unit are tasked with venturing deep into enemy lines to locate and rescue Private Ryan, whose mother has already lost 3 of her sons to the ongoing war. Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks once again excelled in crafting a powerful and emotionally resonant film. The production utilized 40 barrels of fake blood and enlisted over 1,000 extras, including members of the Irish Army Reserve. Spielberg also collaborated with local reenactment groups such as the 2nd Battle Group to portray German soldiers. To enhance authenticity, Spielberg cast soldiers who had previously lost limbs in combat to depict injured American soldiers during the Normandy landing. The director studied photographs taken by renowned war photographer Robert Capa during the Normandy invasion, recreating their raw, chaotic realism for the film. This meticulous attention to detail imbued Saving Private Ryan with an unparalleled sense of authenticity, making it one of the most impactful war films ever created. Downfall. Downfall, in a remarkable depiction of Adolf Hitler's final days and the collapse of the Nazi regime, the 2004 film Downfall recounts the tumultuous last moments of the Führer trapped in his bunker in Berlin. The narrative is partially based on the memoirs of Traudl Junge, one of Hitler's personal secretaries and a witness to the events within the bunker. The film offers a gripping and humanizing portrayal of those who surrounded Hitler during his downfall, delving into the chaos, despair, and disillusionment that characterized the final days of the Third Reich. It is widely regarded as one of the most compelling cinematic explorations of this period in history. The film captures intense interest despite centering on one of history's most notorious figures. Undoubtedly, Downfall ranks among the greatest World War II films. Its creators aim to humanize the most infamous and disturbed mass murderer in history, allowing viewers to grapple with Hitler and all that he represented on their own terms. Swiss actor Bruno Ganz delivered a masterful performance, embodying Hitler's complex character with extraordinary depth. The film earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Foreign Language Film in 2004. However, Downfall continues to spark controversy both in Germany and abroad due to its nuanced portrayal of Hitler, not as a mere monstrous figure, but as a deeply flawed and multifaceted human being. Letters from Iwo Jima. Letters from Iwo Jima, Clint Eastwood's. Letters from Iwo Jima can be as difficult to watch as films like Saving Private Ryan and Das Boot. The movie delves deeply into the horrors of war, presenting them from the Japanese perspective. Notably, all Japanese characters depicted in the film perished during the battle, with surviving characters being fictional. While not entirely accurate in a literal sense, the film excels in conveying the harrowing experiences of the ordinary Japanese soldier, making it one of the finest World War II films in this regard. Eastwood deserves praise for his nuanced portrayal of figures like General Tadamichi Kuribayashi, played by Ken Watanabe, and Baron Takechi Nishi, among other Japanese leaders. He effectively captured the spirit and dedication of seasoned soldiers serving a doomed cause. Letters from Iwo Jima was filmed concurrently with Eastwood's other work, Flags of Our Fathers, which tells the story of the same battle from the American perspective. Together, these films brilliantly depict the brutal reality of the Pacific Theater, highlighting its savagery and chaos. It's worth noting that Letters from Iwo Jima won the Academy Award for Best Sound Editing in 2006, further cementing its place as a cinematic triumph. Unbroken. Unbroken. Actress and director Angelina Jolie adapted Laura Hillenbrand's best-selling novel into an inspiring film that tells the story of American pilot and prisoner of war, Louis Zamperini. Zamperini was a troubled young man growing up in Torrance, California, until he discovered his remarkable speed and indomitable spirit. This revelation led him to compete as a middle-distance runner at the 1936 Berlin Olympics. These qualities later helped him survive 47 harrowing days adrift on a raft in the Pacific Ocean, followed by years of brutal captivity, torture, and starvation at the hands of his Japanese captors. The film preserves the most powerful message from Zamperini's life, revealed during the closing credits: the transformative strength of forgiveness, which ultimately liberates the soul. To explore more about this extraordinary man, the DVD version of the film includes a selection of special features offering deeper insights. Dunkirk. Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan and the creators of Dunkirk, 2017, delivered an exceptional effort to accurately depict the dramatic events of the Dunkirk evacuation. The film portrays the story through the perspectives of British soldiers and pilots under siege, as well as the hundreds of brave civilians who risked their lives to help evacuate over 338,000 British and French troops from the beaches of France. While the Dunkirk retreat was a devastating defeat, it carried within it a sense of triumph, reviving the British Army and laying the groundwork for the creation of the Free French forces. Most of the film's characters are fictional but inspired by real individuals, capturing with remarkable precision the confusion, desperation, and bravery that define this critical moment in history. Darkest Hour. For a different perspective on the Dunkirk evacuation, Darkest Hour provides a compelling view of Prime Minister Winston Churchill's pivotal role in orchestrating the retreat. The film highlights Churchill's leadership during one of Britain's most critical moments, showcasing how his determination and strategic decisions shaped the course of history. Once again, Darkest Hour reminds us that history is often written by the bold decisions of a single great leader, capturing the essence of Churchill's resolve in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. It is worth noting that Dunkirk won multiple Academy Awards in 2017, including Best Film Editing, Best Sound Editing, and Best Sound Mixing. These accolades reflect the film's technical brilliance, particularly in its ability to immerse viewers in the intensity and chaos of the Dunkirk evacuation through stunning visuals and masterful sound design. Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge is an inspiring film based on the true story of American soldier Desmond Doss, who proved that true courage doesn't require a weapon. Desmond, a devout young man committed to nonviolence, enlists in the U.S. Army during World War II to serve as a combat medic. However, he refuses to carry a weapon or kill due to his religious beliefs. Despite being mocked, ridiculed by his comrades, and even facing a court-martial, Doss remains steadfast in his resolve to serve and save lives. During the brutal Battle of Hacksaw Ridge in Okinawa, Doss demonstrates extraordinary bravery under relentless Japanese gunfire. He single-handedly saves over 75 wounded soldiers, lowering them down the cliff using only ropes, repeatedly risking his life in the process. Directed by Mel Gibson and starring Andrew Garfield, the film isn't just about war, but highlights faith, determination, and heroism in the face of immense adversity. Hacksaw Ridge tells the story of how one man, standing firm in his principles, became an extraordinary hero and left an indelible legacy. The Pianist. The Pianist is a drama film directed by Roman Polanski, based on the true story of the Polish-Jewish pianist Władysław Szpilman. It is one of the most remarkable films that dealt with the suffering of Jews during World War II, telling the story of Szpilman's struggle to survive in Warsaw during the Nazi occupation. In 1939, before Germany invaded Poland, Władysław Szpilman was a famous pianist at the Warsaw radio station. As the war progressed, his life and that of his family changed dramatically, as they were forced to move into the Warsaw Ghetto, where they began to suffer under the racist laws and persecution. After a massacre in the ghetto, Szpilman is separated from his family and sent to labor camps. He becomes increasingly isolated due to the Nazi invasions in the city. He survives with the help of a few people who offer him aid, such as a German officer, which allows him to stay alive. The film not only depicts Spielman's ordeal, but also portrays his internal reflections on art, humanity, and survival. It's a story about loss and destruction, but also about inner strength and the power of resilience, conveyed through his art. Adrian Brody played the role of Władysław Szpilman brilliantly, earning the Academy Award for Best Actor for his outstanding performance.
No, don't shoot! I'm Polish!
Das Boot. Das Boot is a German war film directed by Wolfgang Petersen, considered one of the best World War II films that focuses on the psychological suffering and pressures experienced by soldiers in wartime conditions. The story takes place aboard the German submarine U-96, which participated in naval warfare in the Atlantic Ocean during World War II. The film centers on the crew of the submarine, led by Captain Lehman Willenbrock, as they embark on a dangerous mission across the Atlantic. The story begins when they are sent on a mission where they face continuous attacks from British destroyers and submarines. Under these harsh conditions, the constant fear of attack and sinking begins to affect the morale of the crew, leading to internal struggles about survival. The film not only shows thrilling naval battles, but also highlights the psychological suffering of the soldiers who live in the confined and isolated space of the submarine. It illustrates how the submarine becomes a prison surrounded by water, with no way to escape or find relief, forcing the characters into a constant battle with anxiety and fear. Das Boot is a cinematic masterpiece thanks to its realistic portrayal of the soldiers' emotions during war, as well as its excellent direction and outstanding acting. It is one of the few films that examines war from a different perspective, focusing on the lives of ordinary soldiers rather than traditional heroism. The Thin Red Line. The Thin Red Line, 1998, is a war film directed by Terrence Malick, based on the 1962 novel by James Jones. It is known for its deep philosophical and reflective exploration of war, focusing on the emotional and psychological impact on soldiers during the Battle of Guadalcanal in World War II. The film follows a diverse group of soldiers from different backgrounds, highlighting their personal struggles and experiences as they fight against the Japanese forces on the Pacific Island. The central theme revolves around the conflict between nature and war, exploring the soldiers' internal battles and their relationships with one another, their surroundings, and their own sense of mortality. Instead of focusing on action-packed war sequences, The Thin Red Line delves into the philosophical aspects of war, examining the brutality and futility of violence, as well as the human cost of conflict. The film features stunning cinematography, contrasting the beauty of the natural world with the horrors of battle. Here are films that offer different perspectives on World War II, ranging from battle sequences and real-life characters to moving human stories and lesser-known events, making them an important addition for any fan of this genre of cinema.
That's home.
I've never even seen the inside of a tank.
You will. I started.
My dad's a soldier, but not the sort that takes people's clothes away. That one there, two there. This one. No, that one. Here. No.
And I need me 8 soldiers. We're gonna be dropped into France, dressed as civilians.
Sondereinsatz.
Vollmacht vom Führer selbst.
Band runter. Wie war gleich der Name?
Herold. Hauptmann Willi Herold.
Leibgarde Herold, antreten!
Ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, das
dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesem Jahr eingesetzt habe, dass ich anständig meine Zeit